Everybody, Peyton Wilson here. Today we're going to be talking about jobs. What jobs are, why they suck to apply for sometimes, what it's like to be 23, 2 degrees, and not have a job. So here we go. I'm on Indeed.com. It's a job forum, career advice, way to find jobs online. It's what pops up first when you type into Google, why is finding a job so hard? There's an array of comments and questions that people have, basically saying that LinkedIn's not all it's cracked up to be. They talk about how this person's filled out over 300 applications and still no luck. But basically the fundamental thing that I wanted to touch on today is why employers feel it necessary to put a barrier between themselves and potential employees. That barrier usually comes in by way of a third-party service like GMS or others out there that are made for hiring. Basically, they analyze employees or potential employees like myself. They weed through our resumes. They check our, psychological evaluations where they make sure we're not crazy people. And they deny us employment opportunities and interviews just off the bat. So it's a weeding out process, which my generation's been up against our entire lives thus far. So if you've graduated from college or you're in college, it is a weeding out process. It is a way to prove that you're intelligent on paper, even though you could be the smartest person in the world, and most people who are innovators tend to not even worry about it. I can name a handful of people who are outliers, by the way. So we could go Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg, to name 3 off the top of my head. There are more people who are extremely successful without college diplomas, LeBron James, outlier. But for the rest of us who aren't, extremely talented in one way, shape, or form, this is how we do it. We have to make YouTube videos and do stuff like this and analyze why we can't get jobs. So, anywho, this brings me to my next point. Why are jobs necessary? So, for example, is it the case that a happy, successful life is contingent upon obtaining a job in the future? No, absolutely not. I think that as a fundamental, product of capitalism and successful capitalism at that, jobs will be eliminated invariably. So acknowledging that is the first step to realizing that, this sucks, but it is the way it is, and it will continue to be this way until employers take it upon themselves to actually analyze constructively the employees that are trying to work for them. So it is, it is the case that employers do actively seek people at, job forums, job conferences, or career fairs, or whatever you want to call them. So they need people to work there, but, that's about as far as that effort goes, is posting somewhere on Craigslist or posting on, Google, a local site forum, or like an Indeed.com, that there's a job available. But the fact of the matter is this, that again, as jobs become more efficient and effective, they will be eliminated invariably. So what is it that we do now? Do we, as the class of people without jobs, continue to seek higher education and incur more debt? Or do we invent our own jobs? I've actually done both. I'm in the process of doing both. I made my own company. What it does or what it is at this point is clearly undefined. There is no hold on what AdFree LLC actually is at this point in time, but it was created in the best of intentions to help people out there. Not like me, but like people who need help. So that is one way that I'm trying to combat this entire system, but the other is, I am intent on going to law school, and that is the bias that I have right now. So if for instance, someone were to sue me or my company, they could absolutely do so, and I could defend myself as a procured person, as somebody who would take that responsibility upon themselves, to combat that. But the fact of the matter is this: I'm 23, man. I just turned 23. The life choices that I've made thus far, I'm proud of, I'm happy with, but at the same time, in the same regard, this is bullshit. I applied for a bartending position at, a local Canton bar. I'm trying to work my way up to Cleveland, get some money saved so I can get an apartment there, go to law school, put a deposit down, basically, is what I'm saving money for right now. And a bartending position. This is pouring alcohol in a glass and charging people more than what the alcohol is worth if you buy it from a store so that they can drink it in a restaurant. Requires that I fill out an online application for something that requires no technical skills whatsoever. It is literally like grabbing bottles, reading them, pouring them, and measuring that out. I haven't heard anything back. It's been 5-6 days now, and I actually went up to the bar and tried to converse with the hiring manager. That didn't work out. I talked to the wrong hiring manager who said that all her bartender positions were filled, which leads me to my next problem with this entire situation that we find ourselves in. Why the hell do you list a job posting if you're not willing to give people opportunities? So, for example, it seems to me to be illogical to type something on the computer, list a job, and have someone who is, decently qualified. Considering I have both my hands, I can walk on 2 feet, I can read alcohol bottles, and if you, taught me how to do it, I'm sure I could bartend successfully. For an example, to, at least, not to toot my own horn, but to say or show how I've done this recently, my girlfriend and I worked at a beer stand at the Blossom Music Festival. We made about $300 in tips with her parents. So there's 4 of us. We ran 3 beer stands, successfully sold $9,000 in beer in a night in about 6 hours, and made $300 in tips. We weren't paid for this, but we made well above, or we made roughly $10 an hour across the board. That's for 4 of us. That's just working on tips. This was for the Canton Ski Club. It's a non-profit organization, but we earn money to go on a ski trip eventually. If you guys ever see Facebook pictures of that, that's how we paid for it. So anyways, again, the question resides, why would you post something on the internet if you're not going to respond? Because you are divvying these positions out to a third party. So in essence, what you've done, what you as an employer have done, so large employers like, for instance, Humana, Walmart, anywhere that's big and has you apply online, if you send these applications to a third party and 90% of them get denied because they don't have the exact words that you're looking for, you have created jobs that will never exist, except for the 10% of people that make it through this filtration system. I understand the logic behind it. It's, you have a vat of coal, we'll narrow it down, and we'll have the diamonds at the bottom, and we get to pick from the diamonds. It's dumb in my mind, because you're not doing your jobs, and your job is to employ people, because you're a company that has made up a very awkward paradigm for the rest of us out here. So here at AdFree, this is what I propose we do for now. Because I am my own acting CEO and president of my own company, and technically once I get out of law school I can sue any company that I want, and act on behalf of my own, which I know I'm wielding that around like a threat, but it's really not. I think that that's the last safe haven for reason, if you will, because we live in a world that's not governed by laws. They only come out into existence and fruition and happen when we argue about them. So my understanding is this. I think that people should not have to pay for shit because you won't hire them. That might sound crazy, but so when we go, for instance, back to Gervasi, because they won't hire us, why would we pay them for the services that they're charging us for? or do we go back there at all? Because honestly, that's, to me, something that should be addressed is why someone would do that. I know it sounds like I'm like a disgruntled person. I'm really not. I don't care. I'm kind of indifferent. I hate to borrow more money from my parents or loans or freaking take my whole life savings and pour it into an apartment so I can go to law school and hopefully be in the top 10% of my class, which I intend to be. Which, by the way, brings me to my next point, and what I'd like to do for AdFree. I will contact the University of Louisville, my alma mater, and say, hey, I'm an alumni that started my own business recently. I'd like to provide some unpaid internships, mainly because I don't have any money. If I had some money, I would pay these people as much as I could. Although AdFree is not a non-profit organization, simply because I don't want it to be, even though it could definitely exist as a non-profit, I think it would be beneficial to give people opportunities to build their resume, to do shit. So here's what I proposed. They film their classes and they post it online so anybody can attend them. I plan on posting all of my law classes so that every single one of you, whoever sees this, which probably won't be very many people initially, could go to law school for free and see what I see. Take the same tests as I do, see where I messed up and be better than me. So that when you create your own company, or anyone creates their own company, that they can and will be successful, at least in the next paradigm of legal education and education at large. So my intent is this: to provide internships, positions, which I will make up, to depict college life, depict higher education, give people jobs, give people some sort of stability, something to do that's positive. And no, I can't pay you at first, but hopefully, maybe, I can. I would like to. So, anyways, that's my take on jobs. If I'm nuts, crazy, whatever, let me know. I don't think I am. I think that this is just a new way of looking at stuff. For those of you who have jobs out there, you might totally disagree and be like, well, I went through these processes or whatever. That's Bailey. That's my girlfriend's parents' dog. She never stops barking, ever. That's my girlfriend yelling at her too. The dog barks at everything that moves outside, and it's terrifying. But what can you do? Anyways, the last bit of thing I'll say, for those of you who do have jobs and do get paid for them, I envy you for the money that you gain, but I do not envy you for the time that you spend making sure others have better lives than you. So think about that. There are people at the top that invariably stand on your shoulders because that's the system that we live in. I'm not going to say I'm a communist or anything like a socialist or not capitalist, because that's un-American. By the way, I don't consider myself un-American, so take that, everyone who's older and considers themselves super American or whatnot. But jobs don't mean good. Employment rates do not mean good. I don't agree with that. So the last thing I'll say, and I'll leave you guys, sorry about this, by the way, how would you define success and happiness? That's the biggest question I have out of this. Am I going to be happy being a bartender for 2 months before I go to law school? Probably not. I'll probably enjoy it so I learn a couple things and move on. And that's kind of the way I've looked at the last 5 years of experiences, is just a possibility to learn stuff. So anyways, I hope you guys learned something, maybe reconsider some things or consider some things for the first time. This was not a malicious video in any way, shape, or form. I apologize to Gervasi for their own hiring practices sucking, in my opinion, and me expressing that opinion. But First Amendment right, bitches, what's up? So anyways,
Hope you guys have a great day.